pair of DevOps experts are joining us from Infosys. Manjula Vasudeva Patil is a senior technology architect with the automation group at Infosys and is the product owner of Infosys Migration Platform IP. With more than 16 years of experience in software delivery, design, and architecture, she has conducted multiple hackathons and meetups at Infosys and is also the proud owner of the Best Automation Idea Award in the Automation Open Challenge at Infosys. In the next talk, she'll be joined by her colleague Kedar Kulkarni, who is a lead consultant for cloud and DevOps with the Quality Automation Group at Infosys Technologies. He has more than 13 years of experience in application infrastructure, cloud migration, and DevOps consulting. He has helped multiple global clients migrate to cloud and adopt DevSecOps practices. Today, Manjula and Kedar would be sharing their top stories on application modernization, a DevSecOps approach. A very warm welcome to you, Manjula and Kedar. Over to you.
Hi all, it's Manjula Vasudeva. Today we are talking about application modernization, a DevSecOps approach. With me, Kedar Kulkarni is who will take up the upcoming slides. Okay, so this is the agenda of the meeting. So we'll talk about why application migration and modernization is needed. Second thing is we'll talk about what is the different trends in the migration and modernization journey, and what are the different security threats we will get usually in this modernization journey. What are the challenges? What are the role of a DevSecOps in this journey? And finally, we'll talk about the solution approach and the benefits. So when we talk about why application migration and modernization, right, there are two major drivers for this. One is the IT driver and one more is the business driver. Let us talk about the IT drivers. Technology obsolescence. As newer technologies are coming in, older technologies are becoming obsolete because of the architecture and the framework is not supporting to the newer features which the end user is asking for nowadays. The second thing comes up the performance and the scalability. Using legacy technologies, the applications will not be able to scale it, or we cannot modify them to give a good performance, right? So that becomes one more major IT driver for it. The third one is a cost optimization. When we are consolidating our all applications, right? A lot of the legacy application, we don't know why we are even built it. Are we actually using it, or are we giving a multiple vendors the same cost, which I can avoid by using one vendor for this, right? This is one of the major driver for the migration and modernization. Architecture revamp. With the legacy applications, with the legacy architecture, I'll not be able to add a new feature quicker, or I'll not be able to enhance any of the new trend related features, right? So in this scenario, I need to ideally revamp my legacy architecture, right? That becomes one of the driver again. A skill unavailability. As we talk about the technology obsolescence, if the applications are built in those old technologies, getting a skills or a talents in that technology becomes next to impossible. The other last and not the least, the modern tooling is one of the drivers. As a customer is asking quicker time to market and getting a new features into the applications, right? If I'll not use any modern tooling around it, so I'll not be able to achieve this. So this becomes one of the key drivers so that I'll be up to date in my technology landscape and my application landscape. So these are some of the IT drivers, which is actually giving us the application migration and modernization becomes one of the key things what is happening in the market. Now let us talk about the business drivers. When we talk about any of the business wants to grow day on day basis, right? So they are merging and acquiring their competitors or a kind of which can be like it will use for their basically it to move faster in the market, right? This is one of the major reason for the merger and acquisition, where the application landscape has a different technology stacks, right? I need to optimize and I need to basically consolidate those applications and make one bigger application where I can ideally I can be an edge over competitor, right? One more trend is the edge over competitor, right? So where I want to be first in the market from my all the technology stack point of view and application stack point of view, so that I can give a newer and newer feature quicker and faster, right? So these are the different trends as part of the business, we say, right? One more is, as I said, right, legacy system consolidation. This is one of the bigger reason, even for a cost optimization point of view, and even from the architecture revamp point of view, right? I need to consolidate all my systems to understand what exactly is there in my systems, which all systems I'm owning, whether I'm using it or I may need to do it, or I may need to modernize it. I may need to decommission it, right? I should know about it, right? And what all infra I'm using for those. So this has become one of the very big key driver for from the business point of view. Next comes the security risk and the compliances. Due to a current trend is happening in the cyber security, cyber crimes and all, our application should be secured enough, at least in the banking sector and the insurance domain. And in fact, even in the retail things where a end user or a customer related data is saved, right? So these applications should be more secured. So I should build this application considering all the newer frameworks which are actually foolproof from the security and risk compliances point of view. Next comes the speed to market. So if I am actually owning a legacy applications, I will not be able to make them or release the new features with the same speed what with the newer technologies. So this becomes one more driver, a high total cost of ownership. So that also becomes one of the major reason. So I should know what is my total cost of my all the systems, right? Once I do that consolidation, I can actually do on the other system legacy consolidation and optimization from the cost point of view. Okay, so now let us discuss more on what are the different trends in this journey in the migration and modernization, right? So one is the mainframe modernization. When we talk about a mainframe modernization, lot of our financial domain like banking, insurance, all those applications are in a mainframe domain. So one is these applications are very old, built on multiple decades, maintaining them and understanding what is there in those. These are become some of the black box now. So ideally, these should be modernized so that like these application can be maintained for the next 20 to 30 years, right? Because these are a kind of a long run applications. So then comes the non-mainframe word. So when we mostly talk about a legacy, it is a kind of a myth, right? Many people will say that the legacy is a mainframe, but that is not the true, right? When we talk about a legacy, even a lot of non-mainframe applications are there. Like just like an example, there is a BBC kind of struct applications in Java, older frameworks in Java, and even PB Power Builder, right? So lot of non-mainframe applications are also there, which are basically are become a kind of a black box. We will not be able to understand what is there in that. So that also is one of the trend, right? So next comes the cloud migration. Why people are moving into the cloud? Because of the like they want to optimize their cost associated to the infra and their even the some of the services which cloud is providing, right? Why to build that which is provided by the cloud, right? So these are the some of the reason why the people are moving into the cloud. Next comes the UI modernization. So when we talk about the end user applications, like customer facing applications, right, in a banking sector, in an insurance domain, or even in the retail industry, end user should use it independent of any support from the any of the IT providers, right? So that is what is the need of the hour. So the UI should be intuitive enough so that the end user will use it without any facing any problem, right? So that is one of the key driver for this UI modernization. So the next comes on the inter and the multi-cloud migration, right? So as a customer don't want to lock in with any of the cloud provider, they want to try out with a multiple clouds, and because of the features provided by the multi-clouds, right? So that is one of the trend. So like some part of the application will be in a one cloud and some part of the other application will be in another cloud. So that is one more trend what is happening. So next comes the database migration. So this is also as a database also becoming a legacy, right? Like we have many applications which are using a old database like DB2 or IMS and all, right? So there are many reasons for this. One is they want to move it to from the SQL to NoSQL. They want to move it from the cost-based databases to the open source, right? So all these are becomes a trend for this database migration. Okay, so now we talked about what are the different trends and why we need to do the migration modernization, right? So the major thing comes in when we are doing this, what are the different security threats we need to take care during this journey, right? There are basically some, I have listed out some six, there are many, right? So we need to take care of our infra security because when we are migrating or modernizing our applications, the infra of our earlier application and the infra of our newer applications are totally different. Even to benchmark their numbers, we have to consider both the infras and take care of the security measures accordingly, right? So the next comes the database security. So database security is also like in detail I'll talk in the next slide, but anyway, like when we are doing the application modernization, right, there will be a coexistence phase where the applications will coexist in some situation. How to maintain my database security during that phase, right? So that becomes one of the key challenge. Application security. So the application security, when we are talking about how to make sure my application is secure, while we have to consider these benchmark numbers or the uh, what to say, like we have to take care of the security start from our development to a deployment to a testing and all the phases, right? So that is what like is a key thing we need to take care during our development. So next thing is on a platform security. When we are discussing about the migration and modernization, whichever platform I choose on as part of my architecture, is that secure? So I just no need to consider only about my UI, whether it is open source, is it kind of giving this feature, that feature, and all. Is that platform is a secure? So that becomes one of the key consideration I need to do when I'm doing my architecture design from the platform security point of view. Next comes on the cloud security, right? When we are moving into the cloud, how to make sure my cloud is secure, right? Because the cloud, many people know, right? It is open, everybody can access it. Can I make that secure, right? So, what all security measures I need to take care during my journey of this migration to the cloud? So next comes the containers. So when we are deploying into the cloud, right, we will make our containers. Is that container secured? Is the container can be hacked, right? All those things we need to consider when we are doing this journey. So these are some of the challenges, right? When we talk about the journey of our migration and modernization, right? So how to make a security benchmark? What is the role of application and technical SME in this journey? And how to take care of the security in the coexistence phase? And what is the process for our security check? Why these are our challenges? See, when we talk about the process for a security check, right? The process used for the legacy application is totally different than what we need to design the process for the modern applications. So that becomes a challenge. Like, okay, I have already had the old process. Why can't we use it? We cannot be because the platform and the technologies and the whole process itself is a different, right? So the next comes the security in a coexistence phase. So this is not like something we are developing from the scratch and I'll go on deploying it, right? So in some phase, legacy application will also be there in the production and my a new built application will also be there in the production. How to make sure the data synchronization, data security, because the data is coming from two different applications, right? So this is one of the key challenge when we do this kind of a activity. And the third thing is comes about the application and the technical SME part of it, right? So there may be some uncover or a hidden security vulnerability. It may be with the application, it may be with a framework, it may be with anything, right? Any layer of our application. So do we have any SME who knows about it or how to uncover this? Right? That is one of the bigger challenge. Next comes on the security benchmarking, right? As I said, the process itself is different from my legacy application to a newer application. How to benchmark my numbers? I cannot take the legacy application benchmark number and use that in for my a newer application. That can become maybe a kind of just some number for a reference, but I cannot take that as a benchmark numbers. So that becomes one of the challenges. So now we will talk about what is the role of a DevSecOps in this journey, right? So we talked about the security we need to take care, this, that, and all, right? How to take care of that. There is what is the role of a DevSecOps comes in. So during a development, continuously we have to do a user-centric kind of a development and even the continuous get the feedback so that like we fix upfront all my security threats, all my functionality related everything. It's not only the when we talk about a DevOps, it is not only the functionality, feedback and all, right? It's more everything. So we have to take care of the functionality, we have to take care of the security things, we have to take care of the performance, everything, right? So all that we have to take care during our development, right? Even during the operation when we are deploying it, right? So we need to give all those gateways as a part of our processes so that like we will not miss any of the gateways during our process of the uh, journey in our development process. Next comes the quality assurance, like continuously we have to do the testing, right? So we have to avoid this any bottlenecks where the manual activity is there. So that is what like we have to do a lot of automated testing and the continuous monitoring during our journey of our development to a quality and the security journey. The security, as I said, like this should be a strict gateways during our all the process from dev to sec to op, right? So all that should be there. The gateway should be properly put in all the processes so that we will not miss any of these things. Okay. So from now for the next slide onwards, my colleague Kedar will take over about our solution approach for this journey. Thank you.
Hey, thanks,
Over
Manjula.
to Kedar. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. My name is Kedar Kulkarni, and just to briefly introduce myself, I'm the lead consultant for the automation group in Infosys. So, as Manjula has, brilliantly depicted the challenges and the road where DevSecOps really comes in, I just want to put a one-liner that DevSecOps brings out a culture in your application modernization journey to set out the security blueprint right from the beginning. It is not just it doesn't just end once you modernize your applications, but it continually goes on and improvise on your process. So the current slide depicts the solution approach. It is a high, it shows you the high level pointers for your application modernization journey. The first one to start with the top left box, that is application security profiling, which is really an important step, and somewhere you have to invest more time, because that provides you the foundation of modernizing your applications. What are the high level pointers for application security profiling? Cloud readiness is one. When you are doing a cloud migration, you need to make sure that your applications are cloud ready, and they also support the cloud native development post the modernization. The security vulnerability. There are tools to find out the security vulnerability in your current application landscape. However, you also need to keep in mind your target application landscape, where possibly the current the current architecture might lead to any other vulnerabilities. Uh, Third is the technical debt. It implies the additional cost actually that is taken for rework if you haven't addressed any of the concerns in your legacy application landscape. You and proceed towards modernization. You are very sure to have a considerable amount of technical debt to be repaid. Migration complexity, again related to security vulnerability and technical debt. without actually studying the application landscape and benchmarking what is there in the target application design, we are going to lead to complex issues during the migration, and it becomes very difficult to undo that and come out of it. So that's it from the application security profiling. After you have done the proper profiling of your application landscape, next comes the detailed analysis and planning, where you benchmark your security numbers. As Manjula explained, you not just benchmark the legacy application numbers, but you have to also consider into calculation the target application design, and then accordingly benchmark your security numbers. That's then going to be a kind of a gate, which we are going to see in the further slides, to be used during each phase of your application modernization journey. Business rules, irrespective of the platforms or the tools or the technologies that we keep changing, your business rule is a constant, and that is something which needs to be given more importance, especially when you are modernizing the applications, because lack of knowledge about business rules, or extraction, not properly extracting your business rules, may lead to some malfunction when you are operating your target application. The third point is threat modeling. This is a risk-based approach to designing the secure systems, and every application modernization process has to imbibe it and do a thorough threat modeling in order to foresee the threats that are going to cause. Because when you're modernizing your application, you don't have a complete picture, maybe a rough one, but not a complete picture of what your application will look like in the new landscape. So unless you do a thorough threat modeling, you are very likely to face some problems. And a proper threat modeling will always help you minimize or eliminate most of the issues post modernization. Collaborative design and planning. The word collaborative here is important, because when you think about the design of application, most of the companies take into consideration the development perspective and involve not all the stakeholders for the design and planning. Here we have to give equal importance to the operations part and the security aspect as well, and bring them together and design and plan your modernization. The third thing is technology upgrades and migration. You have to document and take into account all the types of the workloads, the technologies, the frameworks, and the database you are trying to migrate, because your current application landscape is not just one technology, one a single database tool or something. It's a mix of all the things. So you have to make sure that it won't break after you rearrange the same in your new application landscape. So you have to consider especially here the framework migration, where I would give more importance to while doing your application modernization. Fourth is the continuous learning and optimizing operations. Now, this really comes after you are doing certain iterations in your application modernization, or you have completed shifting your applications from, let's say, from on-prem to cloud. But things really won't end there. It's a new landscape. It's a new destination you have reached, where you also have to capture your past learnings from the application modernization process. You have to do a lot of chaos engineering. Now, one of the benefits which Manjula explained in the very first slide is why do we modernize applications? Because it allows us to use the new trends of engineering and monitoring, which is chaos engineering. We have many tools that can work with the new set of applications we are using currently. So you have to make sure you utilize that and try to break the system to check the resiliency of the system. Right. So the next point is continuous monitoring. There are again, a lot of continuous monitoring tools, and I've listed few in the next slide. The term continuous itself talks about that the journey is not going to end anywhere; it is going to continue. Right. So while we are monitoring our application modernization process, we have to take into account all the metrics that were used in the legacy modernization, and also especially the security benchmarks. And using these continuous monitoring tools, we have to see where we have reached or whether we have met the benchmark or not. The fourth point again is the collaboration. We have to, as a team, work together to once we reach the new application landscape, post modernization, and collaboratively try to strengthen it continually, and make use of all the tools, the collaboration tools like Teams or Slack to to discuss about the problems and resolve it together. This is a solution approach we have derived based on the challenges which Manjula shared 2 slides back. So first, and it shows a phase-wise solution approach that is before migration, during migration, and post-migration. Now, in before migration, as I said, you have to do the application security profiling, where you do the current application security assessment, you benchmark the security numbers, right? Now, to help with your current application security assessment, especially when you're dealing with legacy applications. So in most of the cases, it's like, you don't have the team who actually designed and implemented the legacy application in the company itself. It has been replaced completely by a new team. Right. So you may not know, many of the aspects of the application, the security loopholes. Okay. So there are tools currently in the market like CAST, IBM Transformation Advisor, Micro Focus, which can help you, analyze your application landscape and, take out all the, issues, underlying issues in the current application landscape. Right. Second is benchmarking the security numbers and security design for target application. Your design, this relies on your design management tools which you are using. So the recommended ones like IBM Rational Rhapsody, the Vera Code, can help you, design and build your target applications, and also, consider the security threats in the target application. Which you can then use as a input to benchmark your security numbers. Once you have done all the application security profiling, the next stage you have to move is the secure coding. You have to mandatorily follow the secure coding practices, and in the DevSecOps era, you have multiple tools to conduct your coding practices in a secure way. So you can use tools like SonarQube that can help you detect the bugs, code smells, etc. Static application security testing, which is offered by Fortify SAST, is something which you can use to analyze your code as soon as you develop and push to your SCM repository. If you have noticed, for each of the following stage, we have put a security gate, which really is a check of how after reaching each stage are you complying with the security benchmark numbers. right? So post the secure coding, there is a security gate, and then followed by secure integration. You have tools like, Aqua Security, which is like a cloud native security, which protects your applications from development to prod across, VMs, containers, serverless workloads. You have something called Codacy, which helps you in automated code review and code analysis, right? Which is very essential for for the secure integration when you have parallel development happening. The third is the secure testing, where you have Selenium, Fortify, DAST, ITAF, Contrast security like tools, which can help you test your application in a secure way. And post your secure testing, you deploy your applications in a secure way. You're using some of the tools like Octopus Deploy, Infosys DevOps Platform, TeamCity. And as I mentioned, the very last thing, which actually again connects with the planning and secure coding, is the secure operations, where you can use Nagios, Splunk, IBM Vulnerability Scanner in your continuous monitoring and operations. Next slide. This is an example of not just what I described in the last slide, but also post your application modernization, how you're going to carry out your change and configuration and release management using a DevSecOps approach. So it starts with the developer developing on a feature branch, then performing the code analysis using Fortify SaaS, SonarQube, and Crucible. The code moves over to staging branch, from where the development team drops, and you have all the automated testing and manual testing wherever required, ran with Selenium, Cast, Black Duck for compliance. The code then moves to release branch, where you have a QA drop, and then you have the JMeter and Selenium for performance testing. The code finally moves to production, and after getting merged to the master branch. From master branch, we then monitor the application, and if we come across any fixes, we create a hotfix branch from the master branch, which then gets merged with the staging branch after completing the due fixes. These are after we properly carry out all these phases in our application modernization journey. The benefits that we are going to reap out of it, I can just name few in the slide, but it can be more than that as well. So first is assured secured application, which is the most important thing, where post application modernization you really don't have to rework on the security issues, and in some cases you have to move back some of the legacy components, so you don't have to deal with that. The process makes sure that you resolve 40 to 60% of the security issues. The reduced time to market, as Manjula explained, it gives you an edge over competitors when you use a new set of applications, which allows you to do multiple deployments in days, in months, in few hours as well. Okay. The other two are measurable matrices, along with the continuous monitoring tools coming into place. You can measure some additional matrices for monitoring and analyzing your application performance. And the continuous migration and improvement. So post the application modernization, any further migrations or any further modernizations can be taken care of within the same process by continually improving it. And that's how you, from a process standpoint of view, you really don't need to beat around the bush for further migrations or modernization.
Yeah. So thank you all. So this was a great, basically the topic also, as the new trends are happening in this world, right? Majorly in the 2020 with the COVID situation, with the cost to market, optimizing the cost and all, right? So everybody is looking at this and how to be basically edge in the competition, right? So this is what is a new thread. Trends are happening. So thanks, like that was why we are chosen this topic, and why we are there in this journey, right? So that is one of the reason why we have taken this topics. For any queries and all, you can reach out to us. So thank you, and that's it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.